Greetings, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can get joined in here. 1 second. All right. All right, all right, all right. Nice. Good, good, good. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. So let's see. Before we get started here, just a quick review that everything we're going to talk about, as always, is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. All right, let's take a look here and see where we're at in the market. Good stuff. All right, guys. So awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you everybody for your support. What we can see here on the monthly chart, right, is we're getting that follow through on that monthly hammer, right? Green monthly hammer up, right? And what do? We hit all-time highs off of it, right? This is a very, very strong candle here, right? Last time we saw, a hammer on the monthly was back here, right? A little bit of an upper shadow, but we got a nice follow through up there to the upper Bollinger and nice big one right here all the way up. It was a complex month last month, but it ended up strong, right? You can see there's other months back there that even small hammers like get the move, right? So it's very, very strong on the macro chart. So let's see where that takes us, right? It takes us to the weekly chart. We're seeing a doji right now on the weekly, 1 day into the week, small range, which means today's range was the same size, only 10.33. That's at the upper Bollinger Band right here. Again, RSI is still not at the overbought level, so it's just like, okay, well, obviously the week's not over yet. But the daily chart, we do have a doji up here, right? Kind of a southern doji, so we'll see if that gets any reversal. We have a gap below, we have a closing gap below, here, open gap here, right? We got a lot of stuff going on. We have a closing gap down here, so there's a lot of stuff. Open gap down here, closing gap right here. I mean, just lots of magnets down there as we kind of continue to stretch here on the daily chart. So let's take a look here at the geometric chart. Okay, so this is basically what we've been tracking all the way since the beginning of 2018, right? We can see that's where volatility really kind of started to kick in right here. It's like everything's pushing, right? Everything's going, boom, all the way up, and then boom, right back down, right? So within a couple of days, and then we started to work our way back up. We've gone back up. We got to the top of the channel again, hit there again, and then back down to the bottom of the channel, right? Tested a couple levels, right here, kind of flush below it, undershoot the channel, Christmas reversal, back up, right? Upper midpoint line, back to the median line. I mean, we've been walking through this every single day, right? Upper midpoint line again, towards the top of the channel, then back down to the median line, pitchfork, right? Now here we are, we're starting to overshoot the channel. So is it going to be like kind of a mirror image of this one, just at the upside? We'll see. And so today we're going to talk about expanded flats. And so we'll get back and just kind of talk about why this could be a way B at future all-time highs. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. So we'll talk about that in a second. Price action today, like I said, 10.33 range. Just stayed within mostly the 15-hour range of the SPX today and kind of worked its way down a little bit at the end and kind of reclaimed its way. So this is just a really choppy day today. So it was a gap and hold day. So it looked like we were going to go pretty good, right? We had a gap and go bar right here, but look what happened. Boom, upper shadow. If it closed bullishly over, right, certainly over the 15-hour level, right? But over this level here, we could have seen another push up to these levels and, multiple testing. But in the meantime, it just chopped around these levels right here. Then it ran into the cloud, right? Found some support. A lot of stocks ran into the cloud today. Like one, for instance, was NVIDIA. And got a nice bounce off of it. This is definitely one we're stocking today. A bunch of members, had some success with it. Nice move at the open, right? Came back down, tagged the cloud, tagged it again, and launched, right? So we talked about the cloud last week. So lots of bullish behavior today around these type of setups, right? So good stuff. So let's go back here and take a look and just kind of review what we're talking about here. So if we go back to the SPX here on the, we'll go to the geometric chart. And so yesterday we talked about flats, right? So just remember when we're talking about Elliott wave, when we're talking about movement, right? We talk about impulsive waves and corrective waves, right? So we're either going, impulsively in one direction, or we're correcting in another direction. We're going impulsively in one direction, correcting in another direction, right? We're going impulsive in another direction, correcting in another direction, right? So this is the idea, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's your wave 1, wave 2. I'm sorry, wave 3, wave 5. Okay, 2 and 4 are always your corrective structures, right? And it always does this, right? Always does this on fractal levels, right? You see this all the time in the market. Now, does it do it perfectly? No. But does it do it? Yeah. So we just have to try to figure out what we're in at what time, right? So flats are pretty common. Expanded flats are pretty common in the market, especially in the SPX, because what does the SPX like to do? It likes to trick everybody that it can, right? So one of the things that expanded flats are is they're just that. They're expanded, right? So what happens is normally we have an A, right? We have a B, we have a C. Sorry, if we're going up, right? We'd have an A, B, C, and then we work our way back up, right? But with an expanded flat, right, we would see an A, we would see the B, and what this does is it traps in trend following systems, right? Because you break over this minor pivot right here and it works its way up. So if people are like, okay, this is great, and then it traps them out and it gives you a C, so it can expand on the B and the C, right? And then it starts to work its way back up, right? So it looks a little more like that. So the expanded B and potentially an expanded C. The C doesn't have to go beyond A, B does, but C usually does, usually by about 1.618 Fibonacci. Okay. So that leads us to what we're seeing in the market right now, potentially, right? If this wave count is correct, and if it all plays out, right? That's the thing with Elliott wave is it's always correct. You just don't know if it's correct beforehand, right? That's the one tricky thing, right? But one thing that it can do is help eliminate, some ideas and kind of narrow down at least some choices, so we know how to react. And the ideal situation is where no matter what choice you're in, it's directionally one way, like a certain way, right? So that's what we'd like the most. And this way, it's like, okay, it could be this, but they're both bullish, so we'll look for bullish setups intraday, right? That's the idea. Okay, so let's take a look here. So this is basically on the SPX. I see a 1, and then I see an expanded flat here. So 1, right? So we have A, right? So this is basically, 1, A, B, C, A, which is actually an expanded flat right here. A, see how B went over the height of wave 1. B, so that at this point people are like, okay, we're going back up again. Nope, not so fast. C, which is also an ABC. Not quite an expanded flat, but just a regular flat there. So there's your, A, right? B, C, right? And that is basically like your A, right? Then we had another expanded flat here, which brought over the macro wave 1, B, and then C to finish wave 2, right? And then we just continue to work our way up. We got to wave 3, wave 4, truncated triangle, right? Wave 5. So if this count is correct, and it appears to be so, right? Especially now that we see that truncated triangle here, what is the corrective pattern, right? And so it's possible that this was the corrective pattern, which is a lot of folks thought, kind of going down, and then we're just kind of grinding our way back up, right, to all-time highs, et cetera, et cetera. But there is a possibility, and it's very interesting to see if this plays out, but we could be in part of a macro expanded flat right now, okay? So we have our wave 5 finish, and we have our wave A, and it is possible, and I thought it was going to happen possibly at the top of the channel, but we could have a B that goes all the way up here, right? And the higher it goes, right, the more possibility there is that the higher the gravity is, right, the faster it'll fall, right? So that's something we could look at, right? So if we are working on a wave B up, right, then the wave C comes after that would also be an impulsive wave, just like wave A. So we see that coming, okay, as a possibility. So, and how does it work here? I mean, this could be a 5, right, and this could be a 3, and this could be a 5. So this could be, A, B, and this could be like, 3, A, B, C. We could see a wave 5 up here to get to wave B, and then again a sharp move down. So very, very interesting how this is playing out. But this is a very important thing to look at, especially on shorter term time frames, like you could see, kind of back here. Just so we can kind of feel out and see what might be happening, right? Because when we zoom in here, we can really see that's what's happening, right? So we have our wave 1 up, A, B over the top of the origin of wave A, right? And then C, just like that. And then we work our way back up. So anyway, this is something to keep an eye on. Flats are really cool. This is something to look for. You can, especially if you see choppy motion. If you see choppy motion after after an impulsive wave up, you can either figure that you're in a triangle, which we've talked about before, or a flat. So anyway, good stuff. At this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can, and try to wrap up by 10:30, maybe a little bit earlier, so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. So I had some come in from Shirley, so let's take a look at some of these. Okay, so we have BA. I'm sorry, did she say BA or BAC? I'm sorry, Shirley. Give me 1 second. Yeah, BA. Good. So the only thing with BA is just be careful right here. It did close bullishly. It did have increased volume. It did close over these levels. The only thing is, and guys, I'm going to add it back in because we had the discussion on it, is watch out for the cloud. Okay, we did a whole discussion on that last week. So just watch it here. Surely you have some cloud resistance right there. So that's the only thing that worries me about Boeing. Plus, it's a drama stock. XLE almost swung this one long. It does look great. I love how it broke through the cloud. I love the Morningstar reversal right here, right? With some follow through. Right, it's got a nice gap above, right? Some nice pivots to work on, and it's closed above this minor pivot right here, right? So here's the low. Here's your first minor pivot. Could try to close bullishly, boom, close bullishly right here, right? So it could get some nice follow through on that one. I do like XLE. Almost swung it today. JD. And a lot of the XLE stocks are looking good today, like XOM, CVX, things like that. JD's tough. This is a very, very bullish candle, nice volume, right? But it's a Chinese name. It actually got over a prior gap and go level that we looked at from last earnings, right? And then so it's closing bullishly above that. It's got earnings coming up again, right? Of course, it has lots of levels above. So this is bullish, right? It's definitely showing, shot across the bow. The only thing, high risk, right, with Chinese name. So that's all. But very, very strong candle right there. For sure. Good stuff. And then Snap. Let's take a look at Snap. Snap is making it tricky the whole way up. This is a strong candle right here, right? It was a nice follow through, on kind of not really a Morningstar reversal, but this kind of reversal pattern right here. Push through, right, and then it kind of chopped inside day, another inside day, a couple of Jack in the Box type trades. It could continue to work its way up. I think cloud is possible. How impulsive it gets there, it's hard to say, but it's still pretty strong. And then Vale, I like this one too. So CEO just got fired for knowing about flaws or being aware of flaws and the bridges, before the dams broke. Sorry, dams before they broke, and didn't do any extra research on, allowed it to happen. Right, horrible stuff. This should affect the stock. Okay, it's not really like super down or anything like that out there, but it should affect the stock. Okay, because it might imply more lawsuits, things like that. Plus, it's horrible what they did. So anyway, something to keep an eye on there to think about. So yeah, not bullish. Careful. Gia, what's going on? Good evening. Great day today. Yes, absolutely. Diz, let's take a look. So Diz, for anybody who really liked that candle on Friday, right, which is kind of a nice little breakout type candle right there, right? Nice gap up into the cloud today and then kind of reverse back. So again, it's going to be a little choppy here before earnings, but it could be interesting. Okay, AbbVie. Yeah, very strong day on Friday. I like the gap up here. Possible doji sandwich, inside day up prior, right? Definitely holding trend, definitely strong. Look for a doji sandwich possibility on that one. Facebook. Facebook was closing strong and then it kind of pulled back in at the end of the day there. So it ended up just kind of being like a meh type day. But keep an eye on it and see if we can get constructive off of it. And then V. Yeah, definitely interested in V. It looked great setting up on Friday. It had a nice gap up, and then it kind of reclaimed, gave you a bearish engulfing day today, right? So what I like, though, is it almost filled this closing gap down here. The close was 178.86. It actually did fill it today. We do have a chance that it could continue to touch the cloud and then look for a bounce off of that. So we'll continue to monitor that. JP Morgan. Again, this looks models of the market right here. That doji top right there. We'll see if that gets any follow through. A reversal type signal on that. So futures are still pretty strong here pre-market. Again, a couple closes here above the upper Bollinger Band on the weekly. So we'll see the RSI is not quite there yet, right? To say like, hey, this thing looks like it's ready to reverse. But just got to always pay attention to these. So we had a reversal doji right there, came back down, right? So just be careful with that. Okay, and then LVS. Las Vegas Sands. Very strong here. See, we talked about clouds the other day. Look at this nice cloud break right here on LVS. Beautiful stuff, right? In the cloud, right? And then this bullish move right here. Very, very bullish as it worked its way up. Good stuff. Nice stuff, GM. Microtrader, what's going on? Good to see you. Wendy, good morning. Good morning. I hope you're doing great. Almost lunchtime for you. Brunch time, maybe. So thank you for tuning in. Cool on. What's going on? How are you? And an Amex RD, what's up? Zoom, Roku, and McDonald's. Yeah, absolutely. These are a couple hot names right here. So Zoom, very, very interesting. I really liked this opening. I like this as a Jack in the Box trade. Nice move up here. Still kind of grinding its way up. So just waiting for that extra strong candle to kind of say like, hey, this thing's ready to go. But it does look poised to bounce to the cloud. Looks like any day now it's ready. Good. And then Roku. Yeah, so Roku is looking really strong. I love how it got through the Thor's twins right here at the cloud, right? Worked its way up, and all it did is inside day down today. Might have been affected slightly by the Apple TV news that came out over the weekend, whatever that was. So it kind of pulled back there. Now the main thing is we got to look for earnings this week on 11/6. So that's kind of the big thing there. So we'll see how that handles earnings. Should be pretty exciting. And McDonald's lost their CEO. He got fired today. They also lost their chief people officer, whatever that is, because of the CEO's actions with an employee, right? That type of thing. So I can't, what do they used to say? Don't stick your pen in the company ink, right? That's kind of rule number one, right? But anyway, worked its way down right there, and so we'll see. It was pretty bearish today, but it failed to break down really, really hard below 188. I thought once it got through there, it might have flushed, but we'll see. We'll see. Next Fibonacci level is at 181 and 182 level, so something to think about there. MTMVR, good evening. Quite a bit of anchors setting up, yeah. So let's take a look right here real quick and just kind of see what we've got going on. We've got, let's see, Netflix. Not quite an inside candle right there. Nvidia. I'm sure there's plenty of them. I'm just looking at a couple of these here. Apple. Just checking the go-to list. I don't know why I still think it was kind of slow here. Especially after hours, it never makes sense. Like, really, I get live data coming in all day, and then like at night, look at that, double inside 60 on BA. That's going to be interesting. Double inside 60 on BA. Nice one there. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla with an inside. Nice. And let's take a look at Shop. Shop with an inside. Let's look at AMD. And let's look at Twitter. A couple of my favorite ones to look at for 60 anchors. Ooh, Twitter's been really, really choppy. Look at that ever since earnings. Goodness, or not since earnings, since since earnings, and then they said again they're not doing political ads. All right, so watch Twitter as it goes into the cloud right here, but it still looks interesting. Okay, so still tradable. Good. Good, good, good. What else? Nice. Cool one. Can Teach Gap and Ring and Lulu gap in 145? RNG. Let's take a look. RNG, bearish engulfing day today. We talked about this recently, yeah. So what's really nice about this, what's really interesting about this is RNG has followed this channel up, right, for a while. And then whenever you see these overshoots, that's pretty much a hands down wave 5 right there. It's textbook, right? So here's your wave 4, double overshoot, wave 5. Okay, so now at this point we're just kind of looking and seeing, what might be when wave C is going to occur. Now wave C has a high chance of being at the end of this channel, and it looks like it might be setting up here. So this could have been your wave A. So that looks like a 5, A, B, C, B, C, possibly wave B right here, right? We could be looking at another impulsive move down on for wave C. So that is looking interesting for sure. Okay, especially the bearish engulfing day. It's kind of like a shot across the bow type thing. Lulu. Yeah, Lulu looking interesting right here. So, push down. Only thing with Lulu is it got right down to the macro support. So definitely worth keeping an eye on here. It might actually get some strength off of that. Might get some strength off of that. So something to look for. Give me 1 second here. Let me send this message. Yep. 1 second here. Let's tweet that out real quick. Hold on. Multitasking. Good. Thank you, cool one. Harvey, what's going on, my friend? Excalibur. IT Fun, what's happening? Good evening. Excalibur strong in Nvidia today, strong Netflix, strong Amazon a couple times. Paul, hey, what's going on? Good to see you. MTMVR, Tesla. Look at the way it respected the 60-minute cloud today. Let's take a look. So Tesla. Yeah, I mean, I love how it held 310. I really like this as a level. It's kind of like the 50% range of the first 2 days of the gap up. And then from there, performance issue. Yeah, look at that. Look how it's holding that cloud. Wow. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it looks great. Let's see. We'll give you 1 second here. Love it. Yeah, looks good. All right. Awesome. What else we got? Great stuff. Nice one, MTN. Thank you. NNAMEX, Apple, lots of magnets too. Absolutely. Let's take a look at Apple. Yeah, I mean, Apple is just ridiculous. It's in terms of like the gaps below. I think I had a quick list right here. I mean, here you had open gap right here, closing gap right here, open gap right here, open gap right here, closing gap right here. I mean, there's so many gaps below. I mean, this thing, if it really wanted to, it could be it just like fill all those gaps right in like one day. You never know. I'm seeing the same thing on Apple. Apple is very similar to the SPX. It's one of the higher weighted stocks on it. I'm also seeing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here A, B, possible expanded flat, right? And we'll see how that goes right, at that point. So I mean, it's crazy, if it does it, but you never know. It could get up there, maybe we'll get to like that 265 area, something like that. Who knows? And then reverse. We'll see. Nice stuff. MTN Twitter inside day. So my thoughts on that are, it's consolidating. What I do like is it's holding a lot of support levels back here, right? And so, right? If it continues to work its way out, I like this hammer bar right here. I like it. It's gonna set up for us a long. Okay, we just need here's my trend lines right here. We just need to close bullishly over one of these, and then eventually Twitter is going to be awesome. In fact, Twitter needs to definitely go on the watch list right here. Good. It's not ready yet, but that inside D could be interesting. Good. Hey, NNAMEX, where I learned more about Elliott Wave. Well, I did a little intro series on it not too long ago. Let me actually pull that up here. Let me just grab it off of the playlist right here. Whoa. Hold on 1 second. I got, introduction to Elliott Wave. This is before, obviously, this is good. The other one, you can learn about it is, elliottwave.com. Right, and pick up Robert Prechter's book on it. Great book to read. And then Steve Sinclair's book on Amazon is a good one. It's like let me get a link for it. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, this is a good book. It's cheap. If you have Kindle Unlimited, $0. But he really gives you a great synopsis of it. Here. No relation. But good stuff. Yeah. So you can check out my series on that, and then elliottwave.com. They're the guys who wrote the book on it, basically. They've got their own little stuff there too. And then that book is really a good one. Good one. Okay. Good. Let's see. What did I miss today? Oh, Matt, what's going on? Good evening. Sorry, I missed. Must have skipped over a few in the YouTube thing. But MTM. So FedEx had a monster day today. Do I think it's looking for the gap above? So interestingly enough, guys, FedEx had like a lot of like heavy call buying. I think like back here on Friday. So I don't know if they knew something or whatever the case was, but all the transports seem to get pretty strong today. It closed above this pivot right here. So this is a very bullish candle. We actually swung it from back here this day. We saw there, had a nice move up, slight pullback, and then worked its way back to the cloud. Another pullback again, bullish, and then launched through the cloud. So yeah, so it's definitely attacking this gap right here. When it fills it, who knows? But it is working on it. So that is something neat there. Yeah, absolutely. Sean, what's going on? CCJ. Let's take a look. Woo! Big day. Big day. Strong day yesterday, strong day today. Looks like we had some earnings going on. Yeah, so just some strong follow through on that. Looks like it squeezed a lot of shorts out. Closed over a lot of these levels. Increased volume even over earnings. And looking pretty strong as it closes over these levels right here. So next level is this $10.36. So definitely looking strong. Hey Gia, how's it going? How delayed is TOS? Meaning, like, I mean, it's live data, right? It's live data. Now, sometimes it's slower. It depends on our internet connections and stuff like that. But in general, I mean, it's pretty quick. Mobile's super fast on the mobile app, stuff like that. It's pretty good. Paul, FCX for a doji sandwich. Nice. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, very nice. Freeport McMoran. Right, nice doji sandwich right here, right at the fib fan line. So a push over there could get out of that fib fan line area. Just watch for that as resistance. Joel, what's happening? AAL. I mean, generally bullish, right? On AAL, it's looking good. It's coming out, it tried to get out of the cloud here, retested the cloud, and it's working its way back up. So just, needs to kind of get over these levels right here. But in general, it's still pretty strong. It has a dividend tomorrow. Just be careful it goes ex dividend. So it might drop on that a little bit and then work its way up. Just be careful here also in the future, 11-12. You have a big cliff here on the cloud. Sometimes that implies, a potential move down. Something to look at. And what's going on, Baba? Let's take a look. Yeah, a couple red. It's working its way up slowly. A couple red days in a row. But watch again here too. Watch the cloud decline there, stuff like that. So this is a hands-off name for me, honestly, especially for swing trades. Even day trades are stuff because the spreads can be kind of nasty, right? You really have to catch a great setup on it, but it gives you an ugly chart. It really does. So it makes it tough. I would just avoid. Something like JD or something like that that's setting up a little bit cleaner, might be one to, it's easier to trade to. Just my thoughts on that one. Facebook. Again, we looked at this a little bit earlier. Facebook had that macro trend line down, right? And it is starting to work on closing above it, right? I thought earnings was going to be the day, but every time it tries to close above all these pivot levels, it has a red day. Try to close above it, red day. Try to close above it. Well, it can't because now it's got this one. So it's just having trouble. It's got a lot of resistance right here. I don't know what it is, but had good earnings, but can't seem to quite close strong. That's the hardest part about it. And then WVA. WVA is another one. It had unusual option activity today, early, and you can see it got some follow through on it. So very, very strong stuff. For me, it was too big of a candle to try to swing on Friday, but I have to get over that myself because here was a big candle too, and it still went up a couple days after that. So something to look at, something to think about, but very strong today. Now, day two, I can't do it. I just can't. Session, what's going on? We got a couple there. Triple M. Take a look. Bullish. Yeah, it was bullish on Friday. Nice cloud break today. So it's still the volume came in today on that one. So very strong on that. Could get some more follow through. ZM, we've been looking at it for a while. Just again, it's had a couple jack in the box here. These inside days have been pretty strong to the upside. Let's see if it gets that follow through now. Xilinx. Again, a bit of an upper shadow today. It's kind of a shame there. And even if it did close bullishly, you still have the cloud right here. So I want to wait till after dividend, see if it gets in the cloud, and see if it gives us some, something there. AYX. Whew. Rejected by the trend line again. Watch for potential downside action on that one. Could be interesting. Okay. ZS. Z-scaler. Whew, choppy, sloppy. Careful. And then Z. Z gave us, we had a swing idea, I think it was back this day. Maybe even this day too, but really strong move. Got to the cloud, got to target, and then got into the cloud. Nice push there. A little bit of pullback. Could continue to work its way back up, and it's got earnings coming up too. So good stuff. Hi there, good evening. I hope you're doing great. And an Amex AVGO. Sorry, I looked below and saw what you were saying right there. Yeah, strong. Strong close today. Did it get over? Needs to get over this guy. So that high there is 305.75. Not quite there yet. It's just so tricky. Lots of selling pressure in a lot of different areas. It's not a straightforward chart. Wendy, MA. Yep, same thing as Visa right there. Just a little bit kind of bearish engulfing right there. I mean, not same but different, right? But right at the cloud. See how that holds. Tiva. Penny stock. Let's see what it's doing over here as soon as my chart wakes up here. Yeah, it's starting to get there. Looking bullish. Got earnings coming up. Got the fib fan line right there too. So something to keep in mind. WWE. Oh yeah. This was the aftermarket's mover here today. Let's see. We had earnings a couple days ago. A little bit of a bearish day today. Let's do it after hours. It moved up and kind of worked its way back down. So this is a little bit crazy. You need to really catch this in a trend. It is trending down, so look for a breakout below the earnings lows. 53.25, a push below there. It could be interesting. Pins. Weak. I mean, it's still weak. Inside day. It had that green bar here, so we look for possible 30 today. This is what we have. The 15s. You did have an inside 15 up today, so it gave you that. But other than that, inside day. So watch and see if it breaks out today's highs. You could get a little bit of a push into the gap. And then FXI. Gap up today. Futures are good and China news is good. It could get another move there too. Nice stuff. Good. Jimmy, what's going on? Xilinx, absolutely. Let's take a look. Hope you're doing well. I messaged you a little bit earlier about Tesla, so we took a look at that. So it's got some bullish stuff going on. Xilinx, yeah, a little upper shadow right here. It's a little risky. Nice gap up today, of course. Xilinx approaching the cloud could work its way back down. See if it gets in the cloud and gets bullish in there, after dividend, and then maybe eventually get out of there, fill a gap, and get going. That type of thing. Good stuff. MTN, yeah, my pleasure. Cobb, what's happening? XLU. XLU, utilities. Gosh, I wonder if it's held on by this PCG stuff. But here's that upper trend line. Here's your minor pivots. If we close basically bearishly below today's low, we could start to see ourselves working down on that. So definitely worth watching on that for sure. And my pleasure, Jimmy. Thank you. Appreciate you. Hope everybody's doing great. Gia, my pleasure. Joel, my pleasure. IT Fun, thank you. Thank you, guys. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I enjoy talking about Elliott Wave. I don't use it all the time, but I do try to consider it as much as possible, especially when looking at the macro picture. It is helpful. So definitely keep an eye out for flats. They don't just have to be on the daily chart. They could be on the shorter-term time frames. They're also okay to look at intraday, right? So, I mean, you have there are opportunities intraday. I'm pretty sure NVIDIA did something like that today. It kind of did the way it moved today was very indicative of a flat. So you had this kind of, move up after hours. You sort of had this expanded flat B, kind of got everybody. I mean, it was good. There's still money to be made here. A, B, C down to the cloud, and then later in the day, then it works its way back up. So you can kind of see that sort of pattern playing out. So why is it doing this, right? Why is it going up and then down and then up, Well, because it's probably correcting itself, right? And so after some sort of impulsive move up, which makes sense from a big gap up from here. So anyway, great stuff, guys. I really appreciate everybody's support and thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much. Guys, have a great rest of your evening. If you're new here, definitely subscribe on YouTube. We have great discussions every market night. I also do lots of other videos during the day too, so you can get updated on that as a subscriber. And definitely check out the links in the description. So, well, have a great rest of your night, everybody, and get some rest. And remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.